Welcome back to So Bad It's Good, presented by Betches Media. It's always a good day when I get to talk to our next guest. You know I love our next guest. I think she makes pop culture fun. She's made it so exciting, and now she kind of is pop culture herself in so many ways. And I just got to say, if you don't even follow the account, I mean, that's just the tip of the iceberg at this time. At this point, she's got merch drops. I'm holding up my amazing Deuxmoi sweatshirt that I got on the last drop. We have the Deuxmoi World app. We have the website. We've got the board game. We've got the exclusive scent. And then recently, I got the Deuxmoi cookie dough, the Dew cookie dough, which is really good, like really, really good. But most importantly, she has this amazing podcast called Do You, which I just love so much. In fact, I listened to 2 recent episodes that kind of blew me away, and I don't listen to a lot of podcasts. So without further ado, the one, the only Deuxmoi. Welcome back to the show.
Hi, how are you? Thank you.
I'm good. Listen, no, I reached out to you because I listened to your interview with Jeff Lewis, and I was just with Mr. Lewis today at Sirius. And like I said, after I reached out to you, but I also told him it was just a fantastic interview you got with him.
Yeah, a lot of people said that to me, and I was kind of surprised because at the time while we were recording, I don't know, I didn't think it was anything. I mean, it was a great interview and I loved speaking with him, but I didn't think it was anything out of the box for him. But I had somebody who I guess has listened to a lot of his interviews. Maybe it was you who said you felt like he opened up a lot.
No, I told him on air. I said, this is like one of the best interviews I've heard you do, because he was so comfortable, and you kind of went through the blinds that he was involved in. You went through his career. He's talked so many things very openly. And what cracked me up was that it was like at one point your guys' lawyers were communicating with each other before you guys talked to each other.
Oh, you mean like when we had beef?
Yeah, when you guys had beef,
Yeah.
like that's how it started. And I was
Yeah.
like, wow, your lawyer is talking to her lawyer. And I was like, God, what you must go through on a weekly basis in terms of like lawyers and what you release. Like, how insane is it for you on a week to week basis?
I mean, I don't really deal with lawyers. I haven't. People like don't believe this, but his lawyer was the only lawyer who ever approached me about anything that was posted. But I will say that I will have publicists contact me, and it's only a handful of publicists, and it's usually the same publicists that I already kind of have relationships with. And there's no one's aggressive or threatening. It's always like very nice and very just trying to set the record straight. And
Shout out Tree.
Yeah, I'm not her. But everyone else has been very nice and very just like pleasant to speak to. I haven't really had any contentious conversations with anyone's team.
Oh my God. Cause I always picture it like the Washington Post, wherever you operate from, and like things are coming in. It's always noise. There's like lawyers, there's press, and it's really not like that, which is,
it was exciting. No.
Well, the other episode I listened to is that you had one of the guys that works at Backgrid, which is the photo agency. And it was such a great interview because you dispelled so many myths that even I hold about these kind of agencies, these paparazzis and staged photos. And I thought you got such good information about like only 1% of these photos are usually ever staged.
Ryan, I will say this till I'm blue in the face and people just don't want to believe it. But I mean, I work very closely with Backgrid and I'm one of their clients. So I know a lot of the ins and outs of what goes on. And it's true, but nobody wants to believe it.
Because is it more exciting to believe the other thing, that everything is staged? Like, well, that's what we live in, a society that it's more exciting to believe the big conspiracy theory of it all. When I thought this guy was very plainly saying like, no, like literally less than 1% of these things are actually staged. And even I went around thinking that so many things are staged, and the reality is they're not.
I think he even said, like, I wish more was staged.
Yeah.
It would make their jobs a lot easier. But that's not the case. Yeah. I mean, listen, I know a lot of backstory behind a lot of these photographs because they'll be times where, I'm interested in publishing some pictures that they have the rights to, and I'll ask the background of it. I'll say, um, was this set up? I'll ask them, and they have no reason to lie about it. It's not something that I would publicize. I just want to know for myself. I just want to be prepared. And it's a lot less than people think. And it's definitely not the pictures that people are talking about. It's usually the paparazzi shots people don't care about. Those are the ones that are setups.
Yeah, God, no, it was really interesting to kind of hear that and have a very plain conversation. And it reminds me once again that these are people out there just doing their jobs. And sometimes they don't even like doing their jobs. They're just trying to get to their like home life at some point. So like, even with like Vanderpump Rules rumors and things like this of like the people making the show, it's like sometimes it is what it is. And they're just trying to get home to their families.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, it would probably be a lot easier if they just, clocked in and did a bunch of setup shots and then clocked out and went home. But that's not the case in their line of work. I think that they're on call 24/7, whenever they get a tip. These photographers like have to be ready to roll. So
yeah. Well, you're doing this thing today on your Instagram account, this date in history. Am I saying that right?
Yeah,
History.
I don't know.
But
I
it was,
made up the word.
people would give a date and you would say what was happening at that time. And I always love things like that because I do think there is like this rich history with pop culture. And it got me thinking, like, is there a period of time besides the one we're in now that you wish you had your account back then? Like,
Oh
you
my
wish
God,
you
yes.
existed?
Yeah, before camera phones, that's for sure.
I know. I mean, celebrities really had it easy back in the day.
They did, and I'm sure that a lot more dirty deeds happened before camera phones, and then like the height of pop culture, which I always get the year wrong, but I guess like the early 2000s, early to mid 2000s. I think that's when like Lindsay Lohan and Britney and Paris were going out a lot. Like that time seemed really, really exciting. It's not like that. It's not like that anymore. So
and we just had a few sources like Us Weekly or Perez or all of these people. But I remember, like, do you remember that Us Weekly cover where it was like the dance off between Britney and Justin after they had broken up? Like, and I was like, whoa, a dance off. Can you believe that?
Yeah. Yes. And we had to wait. You had to wait every week to get the magazine to find out what happened that week. It wasn't instant. It wasn't daily. It wasn't hourly. It wasn't minute to minute. You had to wait, and people, that's how they got their information, and it was fine. People were fine with it. It was a lot more exciting to get that issue of Us Weekly every week and see what had happened, rather than now. It's like,
Yeah, I love like kids back in the day. I had to wait at a mailbox for my Us Weekly to get my pop culture news. The other Us Weekly thing I always remember was the Britney Spears Fred Durst hookup, and it was like Beauty and the Beast. That was like the headline emblazoned in my memory.
Yeah, there was a lot of rumors about that. Also, like, and I'm trying to think what websites were popular back then. I think like Delisted. Did you ever read?
Delisted, Defamer.
Well, and Perez, obviously. But there was
TMZ.
TMZ, yeah, but they weren't as scandalous, I feel like, as the other ones. But there were, I remember.
Delisted, I would refresh and refresh and refresh. I totally remember that.
I remember reading like a very specific story about Fred and Britney. Actually, it might have been something that he talked about on Howard Stern, because
he did.
Howard Stern gets people to open up. And I think he talked about having sex with Britney Spears, and I just remember being like, like I couldn't believe it.
I was talking about Stern last week because like he's at a certain level of his career, or he has been for a while, where people will just they'll go to his show to kind of open up because he is so big, and he's like known for a good interview now, where people will kind of go there, and even without them knowing each other, he'll get people to admit amazing things. But that kind of reminded me of your interview with Jeff. It was so casual where he felt so open, and I really kind of study interviews now, and I thought that was so interesting. But Stern is so good at it, and I think a lot lot of people just kind of relegate him to like the sex stuff when his interviews are where it's always been.
I agree. And I think that out of any interviewer or any sort of celebrity news publication, like his is the most honest. He gets a lot of shit for who he is, but you're right. He gives a stellar interview, and the information that he gets out of these celebrities is like no other.
What's so interesting too with that call her daddy deal with Sirius is that Stern was the big serious guy, and now Alex Cooper's going in there with this huge deal, and it's not necessarily a passing of the torch because I know Stern doesn't really like podcasts and still doesn't really get it, but I find that very interesting. Is Alex Cooper like the heir apparent at this point?
I don't know. I guess we'll see. I mean, listen, I, get your bag, girl. Like, good for you. Like, I think that she's obviously a really smart businesswoman. I don't necessarily enjoy her interviews, but that's just me. I think that if you're comparing her to Howard Stern, I mean,
just in the sense of like those kind of big deals and interview based.
Yeah, I think that she could maybe get there. I don't know if she's there now, but she could get there. I think her interviewing skills, for me, it's not my style that I like to watch. But I know people obviously love her, and she does get interesting guests. So
I mean, she gets the best of the best. I mean, like, I just always didn't respond to her because I always thought, well, I'm not a girl, so I don't know if it's necessarily for me, but it just seems like she's being pushed into this spot with like big money, big names. And so I'm curious to kind of see where that leads her, kind of in the brave new world of like podcasting and making these gigantic deals.
Yeah, I think as long as she's able to grow her audience, like, sure.
And grow her and grow her strength as like an interviewer, keep like working that muscle.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah.
Let's get into some dirt here. You're watching this season of Real Housewives of Orange County, are you not?
I am.
Okay, please tell, where are you in the Shannon and Tamra of it all? As just a viewer.
Well, Tamra canceled on coming on my Spotify live show when I had a Spotify live show. It was a live show. It wasn't even like a pre-tape show.
Yeah, it was due after dark, right?
Yeah, an hour before she was supposed to come on. So
wow.
I am team Shannon. I've also met Shannon. Before I was running this account. I met her like just in the wild, and she was so nice and so lovely. So I will always be team Shannon or anyone over Tamra, because I just think that that's really unprofessional. She also didn't respond to follow up like from my producers and from the people.
Are you kidding me?
No.
She seems so like in the mix with all of that stuff that I'm shocked she wouldn't even reply back.
No, I think it's just totally unprofessional, and just like, why would you even want that reputation? Like if you don't want to reschedule, just say, I can't reschedule, but don't ghost people from Spotify. She was ghosting the booker from fucking Spotify. I mean, that's just...
Well, I mean, listen, are you announcing that you're going to be on Real Housewives of Orange County now? Because I think you'd be a great foil for Tamra next season.
They wish. No, absolutely not.
Okay. Well, as a viewer, though, are you not kind of like aghast at like, this is what Shannon can withstand season? Like, it's not enough that she's already paying the price for her behavior, but now imagine them bringing one of your exes onto like one of like the new boyfriend or the new girlfriend of your ex onto the show and just taunting you with it all season. Like, it's insane to watch.
I think she's doing great. I think
she's doing amazing.
If she feels like she's going to lose it, she leaves the room.
Yes.
Such a great skills. I mean, I was just going to say that, like, whoever taught her that coping technique, like, she's obviously utilizing it.
And Tamra didn't know how to do it. Tamra was like, whoa, that's weird. I've never seen her like get up and leave before calmly.
Right. Because Tamra thrives on confrontation. That's what makes her relevant. And in her mind, that's what makes her, appeal to, I guess, the audience, and gives her relevancy on the show. But Shannon's proving you don't need to be like that.
No,
And I
it's
give her a lot of credit.
well, a lot of people always said she plays the victims a lot of in different seasons, and I can sometimes see that being true. But this season, when she actually has a leg to stand on and being a victim, she's actually being quite strong, which is kind of impressive to see.
Yeah, I am totally team Shannon. I think that she's doing great. I think that she's probably better off that she's not with Johnny J anymore. And she'll thrive on her own.
Well, listen, we got
So,
breaking news last night that Johnny J and Fun Lexi, Alexis Bellino, got engaged after 9 months of dating. Were you tipped off to this before it happened at all?
no, absolutely not. I don't have
Did
any.
Alexis go, hey, dude, I'm getting
No,
engaged. Put it out there.
no, I don't have any Alexis Bellino insiders uh,
no,
feeding
no,
me
no
information.
Johnny J insiders over there.
No, I don't. I was kind of shocked actually because I was shocked but not shocked. Like I figured they get engaged, but 9 months is not that long.
No, not at all. And especially when she came off an engagement a couple months prior, and John obviously was out of a 3.5 year relationship with Shannon. So it really is rushed. And I just still can't get it around my head of if this dude is kind of a private person, why date another person on the show that you had a miserable experience on, allegedly?
Yeah, I see everyone comparing him to Slade.
Yeah, I did.
You did as
which,
well.
which, by the way, I had people defending Slade in my comments. People were like, he's actually not bad. He's still with Gretchen.
Well,
He's worse than
guess,
Slade.
but do they forget how quickly one forgets the villain that was Slade Smiley back in the day? I don't think Johnny J is as much of a villain yet.
Yeah, I feel like he's getting there because in the mid-season trailer he shows up, and I think the finale, and I'm just like, wow, they're gonna bring back Alexis next season, and I'm like, I don't know if I can stand to watch a wedding season where Alexis does a girls' trip for her bridal shower.
Yeah, she's seeming like a very manic this season.
Yeah,
I don't remember her being this hyper.
Well, she's high on love.
I guess so. Yeah, I get it. I guess I don't know. I just
you've never had a boyfriend where you just talk about him nonstop.
No, not like her. No, absolutely not. And she's just also just hyper and and the show and the producers keep playing into it, like how she doesn't shut the fuck up, and the other cast members are saying it too. I don't really remember her like that. But she's also hasn't been on in a while. So I think that she's actually definitely bringing the much needed drama to the cast.
No, I love this season. That's why I'm I love this season, and I love it because I get upset every week. And that just shows how we've been trained to enjoy things in a different way in this last decade, where it's rage baiting. I'm upset at Sandoval. I'm upset at Tamra. I'm we're just upset. And that's actually what liking something is these days.
Yeah, that's so sad.
I know, isn't that sad?
Yeah. I mean, listen, could we change that? That's not very positive.
Well, you said in your most recent podcast, let's lead with kindness. I mean, that is something that even you, I think a lot of shit gets put on you. And it's you're actually one of the nicer people that I've dealt with in terms of all of this, and you're one of at the forefront of all of this. And you've always been nothing but kind, nothing but nice. And you seem like you treat people like that across the board.
Yeah, I think that I get a lot of shit unwarranted, but whatever. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care. I'm not going to, I said let's lead with kindness because I was referring to the fact that I like to post sightings where the submitter will mention that a celebrity was nice or took the time to take pictures with fans. That's something that I like to do, even if it's just one sentence that the person just says oh, so and so was nice. So that's why I had said that, but yeah.
Who's the one that you get the most comments about being nice in celebrity world?
That's a good question.
It's Paul Rudd or somebody?
No, absolutely not Paul Rudd. But
he's a dick, Paul Rudd.
No, I don't know why I said it like that. I guess because I just had a conversation with somebody about the rumor about him having an affair with Amy Poehler, and that's why he's not allowed on Smartless.
I've
you know
never heard that rumor ever in my life. But Amy Poehler is not even with Will Arnett anymore. So
No,
how is that?
this was back in the day.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. I'm
I,
surprised you never heard that rumor.
I got to tell you, no, I've never heard that rumor, and that shocks me. I mean,
Well,
I heard
he
the things
hasn't
about
been
Will
on
Arnett, but
Smartless. He hasn't
I
been on
mean,
Smartless.
and that kind of seems like a show that he would definitely be on if he could.
100%.
Damn, that's I don't want to. Okay, stop. Next, you're going to tell me bad things about Tom Hanks. Please don't.
Oh God. No. So what was I talking
Well,
about? Oh,
Real
the
Housewives of
nicest
Orange County
celebrity.
and your
Oh,
nicest celebrity. Yeah.
Oh, well, this one's just at the forefront because I just posted something about him and then someone responded with another nice little story about him. Charlie Hoon I always say his last name
Hunnam
wrong. Hunem.
from Sons of
No,
Anarchy.
Hunnam. Charlie Hunnam.
Hunnam.
God, I got that
Yeah.
wrong. Yeah, Charlie Hunnam is very consistently a nice person to people and to fans in general who approach him.
And do you get comments on like who's the meanest?
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, don't ever approach Anthony Mackie in the wild. I've
Wait,
told
for
my
real? That's so
yes,
random. Anthony Mackie?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure. Listen, like once in a while, I'm sure he's fine and he'll take a picture. But he generally, like, based on interactions that I've received, that's the only thing I could speak to. He's not very forthcoming with fan photos or even really fan conversations.
Jeez, wow. Well, I mean, we're in a brat summer right now, and Chapel Roan and Sabrina Carpenter and all of that stuff. And Chapel Roan recently came out with just like trying to explain how she, I mean, is handling celebrity and that it's very weird to be approached and all of this stuff. Did you have a take on that? Because you've dealt with so much pop culture and so many people gaining fame very quickly. What was your thoughts on the Chapel Roan statement?
I loved what she had to say actually,
Me
and
too.
I thought like good for her for speaking out. And I felt that there's probably a lot of other musicians specifically because I feel like their fandoms are a lot more passionate than some actors and actresses.
Yeah.
Felt the same way as her, and she just I don't know didn't give a shit and was able to vocalize it, but I don't know specifically what she had encountered. I'm assuming
Yeah.
that someone came into her personal space or there were people, I think she said, trying to contact her family. I mean, these fans just take it too far.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a normal thing that you would be scared if somebody approached your family or stalked you. That's a really scary thing. And it was really interesting once she released that statement. A good portion of people completely understood it. And for me, I thought, oh my God, she's ensuring that she's going to have a career a lot longer than if she would just burn herself out. Like it was like, wow, she's going to be around for a while if she kind of sets these boundaries. But people don't realize how freaky it is to actually have so many people give a shit about what you're doing.
No, I know. And you know who handles it really well, in my opinion, and he always handles it the same way and consistently is Harry Styles. Like every time that he doesn't feel like being in a picture, I think he like says the same thing, which is kind of like, I'll say hello, but like no photos, please. And the people always respect that and they're fine with it.
Yeah.
But he's someone that doesn't always hop into a picture with a fan. He isn't.
Yeah, I don't know. It is interesting that then people were tearing apart Chapel's statement. I'm like, you're proving her point right now. Like, she doesn't owe you anything besides her music and her performance. And that's kind of it. And I think there is this now, we are, like you said earlier, it's like a 24/7 news cycle, moment to moment. So we feel so like we do own them in a way. And that's such a bizarre, I mean, we've always been like that, but it's so intense now.
Yeah, I mean, I think the social media is like the downfall of our society, to be honest, because it just gives people access, or they think they have access to these celebrities. And like you said, they think that they like own this piece of them. It's just bizarre. It's not, I don't understand it because that's just not how I grew up. Like the celebrities that I grew up liking, we didn't have social media. So I don't get it,
Well,
but
I mean, the smartest thing you ever did was stay private. Was like you are an entity, not a. I mean, you're obviously a person, but I just think that it was one of the smartest things because I mean, I feel like overall health that is way better for you than. I mean, I always regret now using my name on this show. I was like, God, I used to have a paper bag over my head.
do people get? Do people like? Do you feel unsafe? Or do
Oh, I mean,
people?
I've had situations like I mean, yeah, I had a stalker. I had people
Wow.
contact my family. I've had some really weird things that I don't really talk about a lot, but some really scary things. And like that parasocial relationship, I don't know if anybody. And this, like, I'm low level. Like, I can't imagine what it's like for anybody really big. But if you're trying to please everybody, and I'm always like trying to please everybody, like it's really a scary thing when people start doing very random weird things about your life. And I think that has been kind of a hard thing, but then you watch it through celebrity lens and you kind of understand why, but at the same time it still doesn't take away from that it's really scary.
Yeah, I can't imagine it either. I can't
Yeah.
imagine it.
Well, listen, on to some fun stuff. Can you take us through? I saw this on your account and I was going to do a story and I was like, oh, I'll save this for due. What is going on with Ben Affleck and Kit Kennedy? Because I heard that this wasn't actually a thing. What have you heard? Because this is RFK's daughter, right? Kit Kennedy?
Yes. RFK Jr.
RFK Jr., of
Yeah.
course, who has made some big splashes of his own this past week. What, I mean, is Ben Affleck already moving on and potentially with a Kennedy?
I mean, well, I guess we should we should say that his rep denied it.
Okay.
She said that she went on record and said that there's no truth to it. But I mean, I could tell you what I heard. I mean, I heard about them being friends years ago. This was something I knew. I knew they were friendly from 2020. That's when I
Yeah.
started the account. I had heard that they had a friendship or they had hooked up. Let's say that. But never dated, never in a relationship. So to say, is he, you know, I don't know how to answer this because like anything I say, like he already said that
It's not true.
it's not true. But yeah, I heard it. I heard that
I was just wondering
he
how it
knew
even
her.
got started in the first place.
Well,
Because,
page
like,
6 broke it, and I don't know how they found out. I have no idea. So when I saw that they had posted about it, I was like, "Oh, then I'm just gonna share what I know," which
yeah,
I knew that he had known her from 2020. I knew that he had allegedly started talking to her again this past summer, and then I had 2 sightings of him with an unidentified brunette. So I just put 2 and 2 together.
yeah.
But
God,
none of the submitters of the 2 recent sightings said he was with Kit Kennedy because they probably don't know who she is anyway. They were
yeah.
just like he's with a young brunette.
Well, this is the
So
first time I had even heard of Kit Kennedy, but I just thought, what an interesting time for this to come out after RFK Jr. made that announcement last week. I thought, wow, this is like such bizarre timing that this story just popped out all of a sudden.
well, I have no idea why page 6 decided to publish it. Like I said, I don't know who their source was. It's funny because in their initial article about it, they said that he had been seen at the Beverly Hills Hotel with her, and one of my sightings from June 20th, and I know this person did not tip off page 6 because when this person told me about this in June, they specifically said to me, please do not share. But just so you know, I saw Ben Affleck today at the Beverly Hills Hotel, and he went upstairs with an unidentified young brunette, and I was eating my lunch, and he came back down alone, and I was still eating my lunch. So I don't know how page 6 knew or why they decided to post it, but it, his team was very quick to jump on the denial.
Yeah. By the way, that's a great new T-shirt you can make. Unidentified young brunette.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. So,
yeah. Well, that, I mean, that, who knows? We'll find out more, I'm sure, or not at all.
well,
But
now you're
we
not going
talked.
to find out anything because now
I'm
that
sorry.
it's out, they're
It's done.
probably
It's
like,
done.
yeah, Ben, like, stay inside. You're not allowed to go anywhere because I don't
Well,
think Jennifer Lopez was too happy about these rumors.
Well, I mean, we've talked so much about JLo over the times you've been on this show, and obviously their relationship, they finally went public that it's done, even though they filed the date of separation as April 26th. I mean, we all knew that this was like coming. Why do you think the announcement was on the 2-year anniversary? Was JLo really sending a message? What have you heard about this? And now I notice in terms of like, you know, PR and media, they're putting out stories of like, well, Ben Affleck has a really dark side, sources say, to combat some of the negative JLo items. I find it very interesting. Every day there's something different. What are you hearing lately?
I mean, I'm not hearing anything because I think like all of those like back and forth headlines are obviously their PR people, like just behind the scenes pulling strings. Like, okay, there's 5 bad stories about JLo, like, so let's tip off something about Ben. You know what I mean? I think it's
It's so
obvious that
dark.
that's what's happening.
I
But
know, but people that can't, that people that don't like kind of pick up on those patterns or see through the
right,
matrix,
they believe
they really
it.
believe everything. Yeah.
I know. I mean, listen, like, I don't think any of it is new news. I think it's just, like I said, like PR spin creating headlines because they're obviously battling it out in the press. But what I had heard, which is exactly what happened, and I had heard this at the beginning of the summer, that they were going to announce at the end of the summer. And the plan was, and I had posted about this. There's an article about this on our website. The plan was to show her having a good summer. cut to all the fucking paparazzi pictures of her in the Hamptons, cut to her hanging out with his kids, and then they were going to announce at the end of the summer that they're going their separate ways. So that was the plan. I don't know if the plan was to have all these like back and forth headlines about how horrible each other are, and I'm sure the plan wasn't there to be a leak about Ben and a potential new woman. So I don't know where it all went wrong. Maybe they were arguing behind the scenes because it seemed amicable in the beginning of the summer, right? Like it seemed
totally.
like
It seemed like they were doing their own thing.
On track with their plan that they had decided behind the scenes. He allegedly did not want her to come off as looking sad and poor JLo, and that this didn't work out, and her looking like a fool and being embarrassed. So they had both agreed on this plan. I don't know what the hell happened the last couple weeks that now every other headline is like JLo's this and Ben's this, and it's like, it's stupid in my opinion.
I know. It's like I'm waiting for like Ben Affleck didn't put the toilet seat down every time he went to the bathroom.
Like, it's so ridiculous, and it's people still want. They're still confused. What went wrong? Why did they break up?
It's like, what went wrong? We all kind of, I love it. Like back in the day before they got back together, everybody was like, no, this is a mistake. Don't do it. And then they got together and now they're split up and people are like, what went wrong? Nobody kind of like, everybody didn't really fully believe in this to begin with. We wanted to, but I love that after the fact, now people are so desperate when it's like, yeah, sometimes relationships just don't work.
Right. Damn. That's too easy for people to understand, Ryan. They don't.
But it's to our conversation about Backgrid. We all want things to be completely staged. We want it to be completely this like whole Kubrickian, like, clues everywhere, when only Taylor Swift does that.
Exactly. I mean, I don't want it to be like that. I'm happy with just like, knowing the bare minimum facts of the truth. I don't need to know, I don't need to know everything. I just need to know the bare minimum. Why did they break up? I mean, obviously they wanted to lead their lives in a different way. I mean, that's like the very high level answer.
And it's also got to be brutal for both of them as actual people. Like we were like Chapel Roan, a person, Ben Affleck and JLo, they're actual people. So they might actually be really kind of hurting as well. Like we all are when we get out of relationships, and they're probably trying to figure out what happened as well.
Yeah. I mean, yes. We can move on from this. We could talk about this all day. I feel like,
I know. Okay, so I want to get back. You mentioned something else, and this cracks me up because this was like my bar in my 20s. Was like Barney's Beanery has had this resurgence in Los Angeles, where now it's like almost like a nightclub of people trying to get in. Taylor, like this is like a whole, like this is a bar that's always been there. How did Barney's Beanery all of a sudden become a place for celebrities?
Well, I think what happened was I think it was over quarantine. Like I don't think it's anything that happened this year. I think it's been happening the past couple of years. And for me, I just started slowly getting more and more sightings there. And
Yeah.
then the sightings became more A-list, like you said, like Taylor, Selena, Justin.
The Love
So
Island USA cast were there for karaoke the other night.
right. So that's what I think happened. But like it's been around forever, apparently.
Oh yeah, it's been around for. I mean, it was that and like the Saddle Ranch up on Sunset that
Right.
became a big place over like quarantine as well. But I always find it funny, like the new places where it's cool to hang out. And then speaking of Taylor, I think a lot of people like I love Taylor dearly. I went and saw her in Sweden over the summer, awesome. But like, where are like she's done with her tour except for a couple of U.S. states, and then the big thing is, did Travis Kelce already get an engagement ring, or are they already engaged? We got the football season starting again where that relationship fully took bloom in the public eye. What is her next step? Are you hearing anything?
Um, I heard that she will be spending a lot of time in Kansas City. So I'm assuming I don't know.
Have fun.
I don't actually know her tour schedule, but I'm assuming she's going to be at every game or every game she could possibly attend. And then, you know, in the off days, I'm assuming she'll be there with him because he'll be there. Um, Somebody messaged me today that like her plane has been going back and forth to Trenton, New Jersey. So they think that she's
In the
either
mob?
no buying a house in Pennsylvania near Gigi and Bradley Cooper, or that this weekend she'll be in Pennsylvania because also Jason Kelsey's family has a house there, like in the same area. And maybe that's where they'll be spending Labor Day weekend. I don't know.
Well, I mean, she just had her house last weekend. Everybody was at where like
Right.
Ryan Reynolds, Blake Lively, all those people were hanging out at. So I'm curious if she's going to endorse a candidate. I'm curious about Reputation, like like when are we getting Taylor's version of that? She has to have some sort of agenda because she always seems so planned out.
I don't know anything about like music or
Yeah,
TV releases as far as like endorsing a candidate. In my opinion, I haven't heard anything about this, but my opinion is that after the
terrorist.
planned terrorist attack, that she wouldn't do anything publicly for
Yeah.
fear of like her safety.
And
That's
yeah,
what I think.
retribution. Yeah, I was kind of wondering the same thing. I was curious how that was all going to play out. You also just recently had a scoop on Deuxmoi about Vanderpump Rules, where you had gotten a blind that saying that they were going to completely recast Vanderpump Rules and start off with, all new people that work at SUR. Is that true?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, that's the tip that I got, that they were interviewing actual, like they're going back to the roots and interviewing like waiters and waitresses who like work at these restaurants.
And
But I
I
don't
mean,
know if
yeah.
they're really going to get rid of everyone. I don't know. I don't think they could do that. I think that the fans would be very upset. I think they want to see. I know that there's like, team this person and team that person, and people hate Tom, but I feel like that deep down, that if they really just like swiped everyone out, like people would be pissed. But I did hear,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
I did hear that they're interviewing uh waiters and waitresses.
Well, it's like, how they have different people play James Bond. I don't know if that really goes for reality shows as well, where it's Vanderpump Rules, but it's all new people and we just switch out a cast every 5 years. Have you ever gone back and watched the first season of Vanderpump Rules?
No. Is it
Oh,
wild?
God. Oh, it's great to watch because it's 2013. Everybody's on Blackberries. It's
Oh
before any of them
God.
are famous. They're all trying to be actors and musicians. And there's such a darkness to it because you realize in 2024 that they're still attached to this, and like their lives and their money and their bank accounts have increased, but it's just been nonstop drama based on their own personal lives. So just like they'll never be normal ever again.
I mean, God bless. God bless that they were able to keep it going for this long and, probably make a lot of money doing it. Good for them, I
Yeah.
say. Good for
Do
them.
you
Good
get
for all of them.
any did you get any blinds about Mr. Jax Taylor? Because there's so many things happening. They're filming The Valley season 2. Brittany just filed for divorce from Jax, and he allegedly had checked himself into a mental health facility. Did you get any blind items throughout this period of time about Jax?
Right before he announced that he was going into, is it rehab? Was he in rehab or was he?
No, it was like they just said a mental health facility, an
Oh,
inpatient.
I thought it was okay.
Well, yeah. There was rumors that it was rehab, but they just said mental health facility.
Okay. Right before it was announced, like literally like 24 hours before it was announced, I knew he was going.
Yeah. Wow.
I think production, like what was it? Okay. I don't know what he said, but I might be making this up, but I think I heard production like made him go.
I heard the same damn thing from a source, is that
Okay.
because everybody thought he checked, but that he checked himself in, or this was a storyline for the show, but it wasn't that it was a storyline. I had heard that production made him go,
Yeah.
or he
Okay.
couldn't film this season.
Yes. I heard the same
Damn.
thing. And even before I could even post anything about it, he announced that he was going. So I was like, oh, okay. Then forget it. And then that's all I heard.
Yeah. Hey, did I hear correct? Did you go to a Dead and Company show at the Sphere?
Fish.
I went to that too with my girlfriend.
Yeah.
I went to Fish.
Yeah. It was
What did
great,
you think?
Right? I loved
it was amazing. Okay. I thought it was Dead and Company. No, it was incredible. It blew me
really
away.
Cool. Yeah.
Any news we talked about last time? I know you're not huge on music, but any movement on Beyonce touring? Because we talked about this last time and I thought they would announce the Sphere and nothing has been announced yet.
No, I haven't heard anything about anyone touring. I haven't heard any and then people are also like,
except for Oasis.
Oh God. I am on Oasis TikTok. I don't know how I got on it.
Me too.
I watched a few videos and now my whole For You page is Oasis and I'm obsessed with Liam Gallagher. Like he's like really funny.
He's
I don't think
hysterical.
I knew that.
You never were into Oasis before?
Yes, of course I was, but
he's so funny.
I'm not like these kids today. Like when we liked a movie or a musician, a band or a song, we just listened to it and enjoy it. You know, we didn't get deep into who the people were and the interviews and all that. I wasn't like that. But yes, Wonderwall is fucking defined my whole. I'm not gonna date myself, but.
No, but no, I mean, so true. Well, and I'm on Oasis TikTok too, and today was great because everybody's like, "Oh, these are crazy prices, 50 quid. I'm not paying that much." Like they're so excited, but now it's too much. God, and I've gotten a string of people complaining about ticket prices, and I'm like, God, knowing those brothers though, I just think. Man, it is 2025 is still so far away. One bad thing happens or Liam says one bad thing, it's over before they even start.
Oh God, I want to go.
Oh, you got to go. Well, they're coming to they haven't announced it officially yet, but supposedly they're coming to the US and I think going to do a New York date in April of 2025.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah, because it's LA, I think is the Rose Bowl from what I heard. So I'm really excited about that. What have you heard recently about old Timoth and Kylie? Because Timothy, his new movie about Bob Dylan is going to be out at Christmas, which I always laugh about having Kylie Jenner listen to Bob Dylan music. Just the thought of that as Timothy prepares, they're still going strong because they just went away on a birthday celebration for Timothy, right?
No, for Kylie. It was for
Kylie.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. They were in the Bahamas and the paparazzi caught them getting off her plane. And then I think he went back to shoot a couple of pickup scenes for Bob Dylan. And then, they haven't been seen since.
Yeah.
So I know the fans think if they haven't been seen in 2 or 3 weeks, it means that they're broken up, but they very much operate under the radar. And I think that any paparazzi pictures we've seen of them have been by luck and by chance at the paparazzi.
Well, yeah, you were even talking with the backgrid guy, because they were masked up in their photos in Hollywood a couple of months ago.
Yes.
Because you were talking about why the mask? Did they just not want to be seen? What and it's I just love that Timothy. There's I always kind of hear this discourse around well, Timothy's ashamed to be with Kylie, and that's why he wants to be masked up. And I'm I don't think it's that at all.
Absolutely not. No, I asked the backer guy if it devalued the pictures because that was another thing that the fans thought that celebrities wear masks because they think that the pictures are going to be worth less. And I think his answer was yes, like they might be doing that for that reason, but it doesn't devalue the pictures. Like people were bidding for those Kylie and Timothy pictures. I don't know if you remember these, but they were going to see a movie.
Yeah, yeah,
And they were seen in a
the parking
parking
garage.
garage.
Yeah,
Yeah. So when those
yeah.
pictures came out, they hadn't been seen in a while. So I I think I mean I winded up posting them first, but I think I was bidding against another publication to post them. So it didn't devalue the price of the picture because they had a mask on. Everyone knew it was
Wait,
Timothy and Kylie.
Wait, dude, how does that work? Because by the way, there was like a shiver down my spine listening to this guy because talking about content creators using these photos. Like you pay Backgrid, you use their service, but a lot of us that cover pop culture, we don't. And that's I hate to say it, that's illegal to do if you
It
don't
is.
have the rights to
Yeah.
use that photo. So me using my like doing my silly memes, like that's really scary to think about. I was like, oh my
Yeah,
God.
you have to
But
be
like
careful.
what does that mean about like if you want to publish a photo on Deuxmoi, you have to bid for it? You can't just
No,
pay to
so
like
every
publish it?
so all their clients like are I mean, I'll tell you guys like my plan, but everyone's different. Like everyone has like a different I guess like sort of contract with them, but for me, like I pay a set price for a certain number of images. This isn't it, but let's just say this is it, right? I pay $20,000 for 1,000 images, right? So I could use 1,000 of their images that are on their website. I pay upfront $20,000. Once I use, post 1,000 images, then I'm done. I have to redo my contract for another set of images. But then there's these images that come through that they'll pitch before they put on their website, like the Timothy and Kylie pictures. They'll pitch to their clients, and then like they'll say, okay, you could have these. It depends on who the celebrity is and like how good the images are, but they'll be like, okay, there's a set of images. You could have them exclusively for 24 hours. Starting price is $5,000. And then they'll come back and they'll be like, okay, well, someone else is bidding 5,500. Do you want to bid 6,000? Like, it's like that. And
It's like
then like,
Sotheby's all of a sudden.
yeah. And then it's that, I mean, that's how that works. So it's like,
That's
I'm
so
paying.
exciting.
It's
No,
not.
no, it's just no, but it's exciting to hear how that works because I
Well,
really had no clue that that's how some of that went down.
yeah. I mean, it's frustrating if like I really want a set of pictures exclusively. And I'm like, if you're bidding against like the Daily Mail and it's, but
I
the
wonder, I
thing is,
wonder if the celebrities are ever able to like, if they ever throw it to the celebrity, like, do you want to buy these? So it's never released anywhere.
I don't know. I think that does happen, to be
Yeah.
honest with you. But
God,
yeah,
that's a
so that's
really
like
huge
what.
business.
Oh yeah, for sure. So that's like what happens if you see like a publication say like exclusive. That's what that means. Like they have the exclusive rights to the pictures first. Or
But do you,
even if they say exclusive, it's like exclusive information or an exclusive story. That means like that they're the first, or like they're the only, they're the first ones to report on this, or you know what I mean. So
yeah. But in those 1,000 images, if you say like buy one with Ben Affleck with his like Phoenix tattoo on his back, can you keep reusing that photo throughout your career since you bought it that on that
that's like
first
a
1,000?
really good question. Like I don't I have it downloaded on my computer, so technically yes, but I don't know if they keep track of like how many times said images used and maybe like deduct that from
Yeah.
a person's like contract Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I totally know what you're saying. Is that part of it? Because I'm sure you get like exclusive access to the Backgrid website. Is that part kind of exciting for you? Because it's like we don't get to see all those photo
Yeah.
sets, and it's one of those things for you since we all like it's probably kind of exciting to be privy to.
Yeah, and a lot of times I know information before it comes out, but as a
Yeah.
client, you can't like it would be really dishonest for me to not use the pictures and well, they'd probably sue me or cut me off if I did this. But I do think that other publications do this. Like they'll see a picture, they won't use the picture, but they'll write a story on what's happening in the picture. Do you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah, totally. I mean, I was thinking the whole time too, and no shade to Backgrid, but I was like, have you ever thought of like a Deuxmoi photo agency where you're like,
Yeah,
like record
I've
companies, like they, start doing
yes.
your own records?
Yes, because I get pictures. Like I also get besides working, besides I'm sorry, being a client of Background, I'm also a client of Getty Images. So I can
Oh
go on
yeah,
the Getty
Getty. Yeah.
website and use their images as well. And for them, it's kind of the same thing. You pay a set fee and you get a certain amount of images, and then it's like a ticker in your account, and it just goes down as you download images. But I've like said, like, what about these images that I get exclusively from my audience? Like, is there a way that I could like and my audience would make money? Like the person who's taking the picture, just like the paparazzi photographer, they would make money if I was able to license these pictures. But I forget, like I think I talked to the Backgrid guy about this. I forget there was a reason he said I wouldn't be able to do it, but I don't know. But maybe that is something I could figure out in the future.
Yeah, with all your free time. A couple more things before I let you go. I know we're on the tail end of this story, but just because, the Blake Lively of it all, did we ever get any it kind of died all of a sudden with It Ends With Us with the Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively. Blake was taking so many hits in the media. Justin, like we still don't really know the whole story. A lot of TikTokers will be like, I heard the real story, but I'm too frightened to say it. Have you heard what the real story is?
Well, I heard everything that's already been released, and I knew it before it was released. So that and it was trickling out. So that's what I thought the real story was. And it was the comment about her weight. And then it was
but he had a back. If you have a back issue, shouldn't you actually inquire just so you don't hurt your own back?
I don't know. I don't know how it was said. I don't know how it was said. I don't know how in front of how many people it was said. Like you can't really say how sensitive he was about it. I have no idea. And then the second thing I had heard, like before it was released, was that she was claiming he allegedly lingered too long on one of their kissing scenes, and those are the only two things I heard. So the weight thing came out, and I was like, okay, and then everyone was like, ooh, there's something else, and I thought it was going to be the kiss thing, and then that came out. And then now are they saying there's more? Because I haven't heard anything else.
Well, no, I just heard like the different cuts, like Blake commissioned a cut of the film and Justin directed the film. Like, so there seemed like they were alluding to some sort of power struggle. And it was so weird that they all unfollowed this guy on Instagram, the cast. And then you wondered, like Ryan Reynolds supposedly wrote a scene for It Ends With Us. And then people were like, oh, Ryan's too like type A in terms of like taking over a movie, and his wife is too. So they were getting this whole rap around them. And I don't know them personally at all, but it was really, I mean, speaking of Jen and Ben, all of these stories were out there that were just knocking the hell out of everybody.
Yeah, and you just when you thought it was over today, did you see today? Blake Lively's brother-in-law is responding to people on social media in her defense.
Oh no.
And he's literally saying, if you knew the true story. Something
this
to that
is what
extent.
I'm talking about.
Yeah,
you
I don't know. I don't know what the true story. Then because everything I heard prior to any of this coming out has already been released. So I don't know what else there could possibly be. I heard about the kiss. I heard about the weight comment. I heard about how they commissioned to edit their own version of the film. I heard, how he allegedly was on set. I heard how she allegedly was on set. I don't know what else there could be.
And now I'm going to see the movie eventually, and all I'm going to be thinking about is what's going on behind the scenes instead of the actual movie.
I know, and I think I'm going to go see it this weekend because the weather's not supposed to be nice. I'm like dying to see it, so I think I'm going to go this weekend, and I feel like I'm just going to sit there and be like, this sucks because I know everything
Yeah, I know.
that's happened behind the scenes.
Whenever he picks up Blake, you're like, oh, is his back okay?
Yeah,
Like, I mean, are
and
you
it's like,
kidding me?
were they fighting right before, were they fighting right before they filmed this? Like, this is the things that are going to be going through my mind. But I'm dying to see it because I'm just really
Yeah,
curious now.
I do. I want to see it too. It didn't it didn't like make me want to see it, and it did not make me want to see it.
Right.
But I'm like, yeah, I want to, like, listen, Colleen Hoover, good for her. And then this week's episode, you talked really briefly, Sabrina Carpenter and Barry Keoghan, because there was rumors. Did they break up? Did they not break up? Sabrina just released her album, Short and Sweet, which is huge. What are you hearing in terms of that relationship?
Well, we were the first ones to post that they broke up. And then it was followed by a couple other publications. And then he
liked an Instagram photo or something.
Yeah, he liked an Instagram photo. He posted a picture and like had a bracelet from one of her concerts or something. And then he commented on the Bratz post. So everyone's like, see, they're not broken up. And I'm like, are you fucking stupid?
Yeah. Do you know how many people break up and they still comment on each other's Instagrams?
Well, I mean, I heard that she potentially dumped him. So
yeah, I heard she didn't like his drinking potentially,
right?
Or like and I think there's
even
a song that says that. Yeah,
yeah. So exactly. I heard that she was kind of like clean herself up. So do I think that they were broken up? Yes, 100%. Do I think that they're back together? I don't know. Do I think that him commenting on a Bratz picture means that they're not broken up? No. I think that people are fucking stupid. He probably dumped him and said, clean up your act. And he's all sad boy, on Instagram, liking pictures and commenting like a sad boy. I'll believe that they're together when I see a paparazzi picture of them together or somebody sends in a sighting. Because
you'll get it first on Backgrid or Getty Images. You'll get it first.
The thing is, like, they went from being, pretty frequently photographed to not at all, if you really think about it. So
yeah.
So being broken up makes sense because they haven't really been seen together. So until I see them together, I think they're still broken up.
Yeah, but also, what's so funny is that like I pay attention to all this stuff because it's just in my DNA now. But like, I know I'm getting to a certain age where I'm like, I don't even know if I care. Like, I don't even know if I care. Like, I like Sabrina's album.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I just don't know. Like, even the Kardashians who kind of disappeared, I'm like, I don't even know if I care anymore. I hope everybody's billionaires. End of story.
Exactly. God bless everyone. Everyone should go out there, get their bag, do their thing, fall in love, break up. It's all gravy.
Just go live our life. But it'd be great if you announce your retirement on this show too. You're like, I am done. I'm out, baby.
You know what? If someone were to write me a big fat check, I would be out. I'd be on a deserted island with no Wi-Fi.
Oh my God. You're like when my sister would always try to run away as a kid and she'd be like, you give me 5,000, I'm out of here for life, to my mom and dad. She would always like just throw these tantrums. If you want, like, how much would be the price to like have you forget about all this? 20 million, 30 million, 40 million?
Yeah. 20, 30, maybe even 10.
No, let's go 20. I mean,
all right, fine. 20, 30, 40, 100%. 100%. Or if somebody wanted to help me, I mean, I'm still doing everything myself. So if somebody wanted to come in, help me run it and pay me a salary, because I don't think that it would be able to be run the way it's run now without me involved, I'd be open to that too. I'm just tired, Ryan. I'm tired.
Oh, dude, I was talking to my therapist yesterday and like I got 4 hours of sleep last night and she's like, you just like, that's not a way to live life. Like you're not even going to enjoy the things that you look forward to. But I'm just like, yeah, man, I went to bed last night and then I was like 2.5 hours scrolling on TikTok for some dumb reason.
No, because you feel like you just need to be plugged in, even if you're not creating content or even if you're not posting, you need to be aware of what's going on. And I think that that's like 50% of what we do. You have to know what the public is saying about certain things. You have to know what's going on. You have to know people's reactions. It just helps you storytell better, right? It just helps you be a better storyteller. So it's like you could never unplug. So
but I just miss the days where I really cared about stuff. Like even like OC, like I really care about it this season. So it's really exciting to talk about.
I care about it.
I care,
See, I don't cover Bravo as much as you, so maybe I can enjoy it better. Maybe
Yeah.
that's why, but I'm really into OC. I was really into New Jersey. I heard that New York is really good. I heard there's a lot of drama at one
Oh, I can't
point.
wait.
Yeah, so I'm still like all about the housewives.
Okay, you guys, the Deuxmoi, of course, the account, but Do You, the podcast, it's really fucking good. Like, even if you don't like, this is a perfect pop culture podcast. And I know you think, oh, she's so big already, she doesn't need my support, but that's not true. Go subscribe, rate it 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, because I think it is an excellent pop culture podcast. And then we always have your link tree has everything. I mean, truly, you are in like every. Are you doing a new merch drop soon?
I think I'll announce it here first if any of your listeners like our merch. I think I'm gonna reissue the original merch.
Oh my God, does that mean including the shorts?
No, not the shorts. Sorry. Just the original Anon Please and the 1-800 sweatshirt.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna do that around the holiday time. And I'm trying to think what else I have. Oh, I have a perfume. I have a perfume that's
damn.
out.
What does the perfume smell like? What does a
It
Deuxmoi
smells
perfume smell like?
it smells like the beach. It's like it smells like coconut and suntan lotion and just like Saint
Good things.
Tropez. Yeah, just like even if I mean I'm very much like a beach person, but even in the cold months, like I I like it. It's like a mood lifter when it's cold out
Yeah.
because it just reminds me of like the warm weather. So we have it sold exclusively at Violet Gray. If you guys don't know what Violet Gray is,
And there's only a little bit more of it left, if I understand right. Is that
yeah,
correct?
I think we have about 10 bottles left. We're on our 4th restock at Violet Gray.
Damn.
Yeah, Violet Gray is actually a destination for celebrity beauty. A lot of celebrities shop at Violet Gray. They have a store on Melrose in Los Angeles and a website. And
we got the cookie dough, which you can get 10% off of when you go to the website to order it. And it's delicious. It is great. Vegan.
Do you really like
gluten free? I did, but I'm a pig, so like I really did like it. Like I was like, can I eat both of these? Like I was like, just like really kept scooping it out. Yeah, it really is good. It was really dangerous, but I loved it. Yeah.
Yeah. If you guys download the Deuxmoi World app, there's a discount code on our app. We have an app, Deuxmoi World, and I think that's really it. I'm working on a few projects.
Wait, real quick. HBO Max. Any movement on the book? Anon, please.
Yeah. So the pilot is written. When I was out in LA at the beginning of August, I met with the producers and the writers. And
so like Ryan O'Connell and Diablo Cody?
Yes, we met. We met on the set. Not on the set. We met on the Warner Brothers lot. I had to go to Warner Brothers. Yeah, and I met with them in the Berlanti production offices. And if you guys don't know, like Greg Berlanti produced like Riverdale and he produced so much, like all the posters,
like the Flash. He did all the DC comic book people.
Yeah. Like if you go to his office, there's like posters, and you're like, wow, he did that.
Everything.
Yeah, he's done so much. So they're the production company who is working on our show, and we met and we talked about the pilot, and I don't know. I mean,
it's truly insane. Like in those meetings, do you have to hide like a big smile because you're acting like professional? But like that's insane to do. Like to go on the Warner Brothers lot. There's so much history there. Is that really exciting for you?
No, I was kind of like, first of all, it was desolate. Secondly, they give you a map. They don't let like a car drive in. Like they give they're like, here's a map. You have to go find the building. And I'm like, holy shit, a fucking map. I started panicking. I don't know how I found the office. I like followed the map, I guess, and found it, but it's like a maze. Yeah. And I was kind of like, this is crazy that I'm doing this by myself. It kind of is like bittersweet because like I don't have anyone to like freak out with, because I'm like solo. But yeah, it was really cool. And they like the producers and Diablo and Ryan, they're like who the fuck am I? Like I'm like rolling in and I'm like, okay, you guys should do this and write this and have it this way. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I'm like, who the fuck am I? And they're so nice and they're so collaborative. It's like, I don't know. You don't expect like people in Hollywood to be that way, but I can say like Diablo and Ryan and the people at Berlanti are very much that way. So it's very like nice.
Yeah. Well, I can't wait. Like, yeah, that Warner Brothers lot is so funny. I used to go to auditions there and I would always be so nervous walking to the audition and I would end up getting lost and I would be like sweating.
Yeah.
And then after the audition, I'd blow the audition. And then I was just so excited to walk around the Warner Brothers lot after the pressure was off. Cause I was like, oh, this is amazing.
I was scared I was going to get in trouble. So I just like walked in and then like walked out. But yeah,
and you can't ever go, I'm Deuxmoi, damn it.
No, I didn't say it. I mean, listen, I just like walked in and walked out. But the same thing happened to me. I was like lost, sweating. I was like, this is so hard, you know? But I was like, also at the same time, very cool. I was like, this is so hard, but very cool.
Well, damn, yeah, thank you always for making time for me in this show. I really appreciate it because I know you don't have to, but man, I'm so excited as always for everything that you do. I'm so proud of you. I hope you get your Johnny J to be excited with one day about all of this stuff because you deserve it. Yeah.
Johnny J, not Johnny J. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you as always. Thank you for always having me. And you are so welcoming and so like, I want to like record all the nice things you say because it's like such a nice.
Maybe that'll be my Deuxmoi type app where I just like
you
pump
should
people up.
you pump people up. I mean, it's like you're like so.
No, but
nice
this is like the one part of my life that I get genuinely excited because like where else am I going to get to talk to you or talk to Jeff or talk to any of these people? Like I genuinely love this is like the best part of my day, you know?
Oh. You're such a sweet soul.
Oh, it's really sad. Really
sad. No, I was gonna say like you're such a sweet soul. Yeah. Like I should be more like you. You're so positive.
No, well, I mean, there's been so much negative that's happened. So this is great to do this kind of stuff. So I'll talk to you hopefully in another 6 months or a year. But man,
yeah, you have to come on my
everything
pod.
you do. Oh, anytime.
Yeah, I'll email you.
Okay, awesome. Bye, Dew.
Bye.